Hi everyone, Liz here. Thanks for stopping by. So we're going to have a little bit of a play today. I might have to do this over 2 days because I'm going to be sticking these onto some foam board. But first I need to cut them out and get them done because I want to turn them into like a plate. So rather than putting them into a square frame and using them as a picture, I actually want to, as I say, cut them out, put them on some foam board so that they're not completely flat on the wall when you put them up. The foam board just gives them that little bit of extra sort of depth, as it were, and then yeah, the display on the wall. If you've got a plate rack, fantastic, you can put them on a plate rack, or you can use a little mini stand. If you've got one of the little plastic stands, plate racks or anything, you could actually put them on one of these as well. So yay, you won't be able to do that with the canvas, it would just flop everywhere, but putting it on a piece of foam board just gives you an extra option as to how you display them if you don't want them all over your walls. So I have done this in the past, and I have got a video on doing this. This is my owl clock. This actually came from One Day Saving, gosh, probably 2-ish years ago, maybe longer. And as I have mounted it onto foam board. So this is your foam board, just gives it that extra little bit. The clock mechanism, I had to cut it out the middle. Yeah, it looks like I've done it with a knife and fork, but anyway, and I've just put a command strip on there so that I can take it on and off the wall, because the other half of the command strip is still on the wall to put the battery in and out. But this one has an exceptionally loud tick, and while I was filming it was really sort of getting on my nerves, shall we say. So yeah, I did I took the battery out and I just have it as like a picture now. So originally with this one I used spray mount. Now spray mount is something, it's like spray glue. You need to be outside but not on a windy day, otherwise you can end up covered in it, and I found it didn't stick very well, and I ended up with the canvas being wrinkled and it started coming off. So I took it off completely, and now I've stuck it, I believe, with silicone glue. I can't quite remember what I used. I think it was silicone glue. So yeah, that it's still got a little bit of a crease in it, which I'm not overly happy with, but it's far better than it was when I first did it. I have sealed this as well because obviously it's going on the wall, and it's going to be handled as I'm taking it off to put the battery in and take it off and possibly change the time or whatever. That's just got a little bit bent, hasn't it? But it's a great clock, and as I say, this was actually a canvas. It was a 30 by 30. Actually, it must have been bigger than 30 by 30. Yeah, maybe it was a 40 by 40, but it did come on an actual canvas, and I have cut out the circle, sealed it, and then put the clock mechanism, made that up, and then, as I say, I've put the mount board, the foam. I keep saying mount board. Mount board is just very, very thick cardboard. This is foam board because it has like polystyrene in the middle of it. So you just get, say, that little bit of extra depth there. Okay, so that's what we're aiming for. Not the clock, but that's what we're aiming for with these two little guys. So be very careful when you buy in your foam board. I tend to buy it in the A3 sizes, although which is like double if you've got a printer, the A4 sheets of paper that go through a printer. But I have actually got some A1 pieces as well to put my bigger pictures on. Once I've done these, then I am going to do those, but I thought, well, I'll do the smaller ones at the moment because I want to get these up and on the wall. So this is mount board, and this is like coated. It's got like a plasticky sheen on the top, and then, as I say, it's like the polystyrene, the foam in the middle, and you can actually get it in black as well, which I think is a lot of a better look. If you're wanting something to sort of like disappear a bit more, rather than it being the white showing, you've got the black there. That was, I believe I got this from the range. They do work out about £1 or £2 a sheet. I can't quite remember, I've had this for quite a while. But they are worth it, and obviously it's going to be staying on the picture for quite a while. Just be careful of cheap imitations, because this is a cheaper one that I got from Amazon. These were A3 as well, because I've used some of this already. You can see I've used a chunk of this off the top. But these are just the polystyrene that's in the middle with no coating on. And these, you just end up with the bubbles everywhere, and they don't cut very well, and they break really easily, snap really easily. So I've just sort of used these for dividers in boxes and things, rather than actually using them for anything that's going to be long term. So they just break too easily. So yeah, just something to watch out for. Right, so let's have a look at this. We first of all need to cut these out. So the best thing to do is get the biggest pair of scissors that you can. These are my huge scissors. I love them because they're all purples, look. And you've got like that holographic bit on it with all the different colours. I'm going to cut the edge off there for starters, because I keep that bit for my little logbook with my little key code on it and the details of the canvas. I do like to keep everything there so I know what canvases I've done. And this one's good because it's got a little picture on it as well. Okay, so that'll go over there. And then you're literally going to start and cut this out. Try and keep it as straight as possible. And if you look to where you're cutting rather than actually looking at your scissors, then you'll find you'll just get that little bit better edging to it. Okay, so we're just gonna go around. I know somebody said, why don't you stick it on first and then cut it out? But I find that the foam board is quite difficult to work with when you're cutting it. So I find it better to actually get this firmly stuck on and then cut the foam board afterwards. So yeah, it is exceptionally difficult to cut a perfect circle with a pair of scissors. And if you ever try cutting one freehand, yeah, that's good fun as well. So I do have an actual circle cutter, but it's not going to work on this. And with this being canvas as well, you don't want to fray edges. So we'll just try and get as least cuts as possible as well while you're going round. But I think this has come out pretty well. Okay. And that's something else as well, putting it on foam board so it's not flat on a wall. You're not necessarily going to then tell that you've got wonky edges. So that can now be thrown away. Okay, actually I might put this one onto a piece of black. Let's put this one on the black. Yeah, as well, you don't quite get two onto one. So we're going to do one black one and one sort of creamy white one. Yeah, it may look better with the black edge rather than the white edge, the black core on it. So we'll just have to see. Actually, it's quite grey coloured, isn't it? I may use a black marker pen on that. So let's cut this one out as well. I want my little bit out of the corner. Okay. Both of these canvases are from diamondartgift. They were sent to me in little PR packages. Okay, so let's get this one cut around. And I'm actually going to use two different types of glue. It suddenly occurred to me that I have some bookbinding glue that I used to use in my card making and paper crafting days, where it's a glue that it dries and it keeps material straight onto, say, cardboard or for books. I suppose it was originally invented for putting covers onto books, but it works really well in crafting. So I'm going to have a go at doing this, because as I say, I'm not going to use the spray mount adhesive because it gets everywhere and it just didn't seem to really work. You know, you don't want sticky everywhere. So it's very windy today as well, and I can't wait for a day where there's no wind to do this. Okay, so just give this a good cut round, and then we are done. Okay, right. So that's that one as well. Okay, so first and foremost, we'll do the white one first. So let me just pop that one on one side. And as I say, just because I've seen, oh, got a piece of broken plastic there. What's that come off? Oh dear. This is the trouble when you actually start tidying drawers and things out. You start finding bits and pieces that you don't know where they've come from. Right, so let's have a look at these glues. Okay, I mean, you could, if you wanted, cut this out first, but I tend to find that I like it to be firmly stuck first, and then I'm going to cut it out and do it that way. So the two glues I'm going to use are Pinflair glue gel, which is like a silicone style glue, but it doesn't have the smell of silicone glue, and it is sort of made for crafters, and I've got some in my syringe already because I've been card making. And then bookbinding glue, as I say, it's a fast drying glue suitable for cartonnage, which is putting material onto cardboard, quilling greetings cards and fibrous items. Well, they are sort of fibrous, aren't they, when you're putting it on a canvas? So it actually comes in the little tub, which isn't open yet, so I don't really want to open it just for doing one item. But I have got it in this little tube as well, so I'm going to use the tube as well. So I'm going to use the silicone glue on this one. I've got my two little plastic spreaders. Do you remember these from school? Used to spread glue all over first, and then I will have to leave it overnight to dry, and hopefully it won't go all over, it won't crinkle up. So I'm just going to put some of this on around the edges for now and see where we go. It's not coming out of here very well. It has been in the syringe overnight. As I say, silicone glue and this Pinflair glue will start to dry as soon as the air starts hitting it, but to give it a really good solid stick, it does need to dry. I usually leave it overnight. If I'm making cards for anybody, it's not something I can use last minute, because yeah, it's not a good look sending somebody a card and all the bits have dropped off in the envelope or they're stuck to the envelope. Right, probably using more than I need to there, so just scrape that off there. Using these, if you pull it back so that the glue goes into the syringe, and then to seal it, just pop it right up to the top of the syringe there and put your lid on. Then that seals it. So when you take that off, you can just pull that little blob out of that little stem, and everything else in there is still usable. Keeps it sort of moist, as it were. So we'll just give this a little bit of a spread out, because we don't want lumps. It's great if you're wanting something to stand out more, you know, if you're 3D decoupage, it's excellent for, because you get the extra height on your glue. And I'm trying to go to the edges without going over the edges, because we don't want the edges coming up. What I may do is, once I've cut it out, then actually go in and just put a little bit extra to stick the edges in. I don't want to go too close to the edges and it come out over the edge. Okay, right, so that is that one done and coated. Okay, and that's all that flattened down. Right, I'm no expert at this. This is just the way I do things. I'm always open to suggestions, hints and tips that I can share with everybody. But yeah, this is just the way I've done it in the past and the way I've found it works. So I'll just stand that over there. I'm just going to put this as far into this corner as possible, so we're not wasting anything. And give it a good press down. I will probably put something on top of it as well to try and keep it straight, because we don't want it wrinkling up. If you use any water-based glues, you may find that you start getting crinkles in things and it starts moving slightly. So that's that one. Okay, just stand that over there for a second. And then let's have a go with the bookbinding glue. Now, as with a lot of glues, a little goes a long way. So, okay. Oh, it's got a little syringe on it. I've not actually used this one. This is a newbie that I've got. So we'll start off going around the edges. It might have been easier actually to use the little tub, but as I say, I don't really want to open the tub. Because yeah, it's, again, it can dry out. Well, it will dry out eventually, you know, all glues do. They're better off if they're not opened. Let's just put a bit more on. Okay, and we'll give this a spread round. Right. Okay, yeah, the glue in here is exactly the same as the glue in the pot. That's just a new version that they brought out reasonably recently. So we'll just give this a good spread out again as well. As I said, I'm not going right to the edges because what I'll probably do is stick it on the edges. I'll put some glue just underneath the edges later on if I need to. Okay, you can use double-sided tape, but you will find double-sided tape does dry out, and usually a year, 2 years down the line it will dry, the glue will dry and it will drop off. So yeah, just to be aware. But if you're wanting it as like a quick fix, you're just wanting something up for now, then yeah, no problem. Double-sided tape is really good. And if you get the one that's got the red liner in it, it looks like it's red tape, but it's actually just a red liner, then you find that is a lot stronger and that may be better. But again, like everything else, it will eventually dry out. So I'm hoping now I've got enough glue on there, and that will just go onto there like that. Just slide that slightly into place so that we've got as little edge as possible to cut. That has actually grabbed onto that really, really well. That is practically solid already. The silicone glue, as I say, will take longer to dry, but this feels as though it's drying already. As I put that down, look, it's just not, I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on that and that is not moving. But I will leave them both overnight and then I will come back to them and we will cut them out and see where we end up. Okay, that's everything for now. So watch this space and we will be back in part 2. Bye for now. Hi everyone, so I'm back, and yeah, these have dried really, really well. Yep, there's nothing moving on here at all. There is a little bit of an edge, but I think that's going to be okay, you know, where it's, well, it has more or less spread out to the edges, to be fair, so that's nice and stuck down, no creases. This is what I'm most impressed with, the bookbinding glue. I'm so pleased that I picked this up and thought about using it, because it's just sealed this so well. I mean, you can just barely get a nail underneath the edge there, and it's just stuck so well. It could be partly because this is like a matte finish on this foam board, whereas this is a shiny finish, which I didn't think of when I was actually using the glue. So another time I'll maybe swap the two glues over when I get another couple to do, and we'll see how the bookbinding glue works on the shiny surface. But certainly on this it's worked brilliantly, so I'm really, really pleased. Right, so we need to cut these out now. Okay, now I've got my glass cutting mat because these are the ones that I like the best. I know you can get the self-healing craft mats, but I prefer the glass. I find that blades work better on glass. They slide better on glass. So I've got a cheapy craft knife. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I got a pack of 3 of these from the pound shop. And they're those where the blades, just once you've used one part of the blade, you just snap them off. So you get another sharper blade. And I've got my hot pink ruler with the wonderful metal edge. So I'm not going to cut into the ruler. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can just see there I've got a metal edge. I have got a metal ruler somewhere, but I think it's fallen down the back of my unit, so I'm going to have to go scrabbling for it. I'm just going to cut off the excess from here so that I can keep it in a nice piece. Ooh, nails down the blackboard. All right, I'll just give that a good cut through. Okay, gives you a nice straight edge there. And I'll take this bit off as well. We've got as little as possible, just really to cut round. So I'll just cut this part as well. And then that leaves these as usable pieces for future use. Because as I say, they are quite expensive foam board. You know, they're £1 to £2 a sheet. So, yeah, you don't want to be wasting any of it. Again, that's the crafter in me coming out. I have to save everything and make the most of every item I have. So that's that one cut as a square. Now let's get this one. I mean, to be fair, you know, if you didn't want the white background on something and you wanted to make it into a picture, if you put it onto, say, this black background, it does look good on this black. It really makes the red pop. You could actually make this into a square picture, sort of on this black foam board without having to buy a picture frame to put it in. You've actually then got it nice and stretched and tight onto something nice and solid. So, you know, you don't have to cut it into a circle if you don't want to. Right, just pop over there a second, Mr. Spring, and let's have a look at Mrs. I Love You. Right, so see if this cuts as well. I've not used this matte foam board before. I've not used this one. And in the black, I've always used just the standard white one. Again, as I say, I got those from Amazon. I know the black is more expensive. Oh, it is slightly harder to cut through. There is a bit more of a resistance on it. So has that cut all the way through? Nearly. Not quite. Let's just run the knife from that end there. Oops. Make sure I'm not cutting my fingers. Just take it through there. Oops. Get my fingers out the way, Liz. Just do that. As per usual, Liz making it look more difficult than it actually is. It's funny, as soon as you turn a camera on, it's like, I don't know whether you've ever had somebody watch over your shoulder while you're typing. You can be typing away fine, and then somebody asks you, can you just show me how to do this? And then your fingers just seem to go anywhere, and your brain just stops working. Well, it does for me anyway. I've never been brilliant at actually having somebody looking over my shoulder while I'm typing. Yeah, I just seem to go to pieces. Very, very strange. Right, so, oh, that's cut off better, look. Put a little bit more pressure on it, so that's that part. So again, we've got some good pieces left over for use for other projects or other things. Okay. Right, so that's taking the excess off. So now, let's have a go at cutting the circle. As I say, to be fair, that's a really good picture. I've cut it a little bit sort of close to this edge. If I'd have left a couple more millimetres, then it would sort of be a perfect square as such. And that would look okay on the wall. Just stick a command strip or something on the back. So, yeah, you know, it's very versatile, this foam board. I do like it. And I'd say I love the way that this is stuck onto here. It's brilliant. Now then, when I cut out a circle, and particularly when I'm using foam board, because it is apt, it goes a bit bitty sometimes. So I tend to put my scissors slightly on an angle. So as I'm cutting, I'm actually cutting, as I say, slightly on an angle, so that you're getting like a, well, not a beveled, no, not a beveled edge, like a sloped edge. So as you're cutting, you're not actually then going to see the foam board from this side, from the front side, and it's just taking it that little bit underneath. So if you can see there, look, I've cut it on sort of, I've cut it on a slope. And it just, because it does tend to go a little bit raggy unless you've got an exceptionally sharp blade, I tend to like to have it so it just goes slightly underneath. I've done that a little bit too close, I think. But yeah, it just seems to go better. And particularly if you've got any gems on the edge that are right up to the edge, then if you just cut slightly at an angle underneath them, it stops the gems from coming off as well, because we don't want the black edge to show. You know, it's going to be on a, well, mine will be on like a white or creamy wall, so I don't want to see that black edge when it's just in one little part and not in the other. So it's not the easiest thing to work with, but it is something that I say is effective, and I do like using it. And I have done this for quite a few different things. So I'm not cutting my canvas, I am just going slightly underneath. I'm just going to cut across there because that's getting a little bit harder to cut. I've just got a little edge there that I'm just going to go back in and take off there. If you're great with using a craft knife and going round and using your craft knife in the round, then it is a lot easier with a craft knife. But most of the time, to be fair, I do just get my scissors out because I'm too impatient and it takes me too long using the craft knife. So again, we'll just go around on this. Say this is the first time I've used this black, and it does seem more solid in the middle, to be honest, which is possibly why it's going a little bit more raggy than the white one. But we'll see what the white one looks like when we've done it. So we'll just cut that off as well, and just go around that little bit too. Careful not to cut any of the canvas because we've got a pretty good circle on that canvas. And there you are. So sadly these bits I probably won't be able to use much as I want to keep them because there's quite a big chunk there. I am actually going to put those in the bin. Go me. So that's our little plate, all nice and raised up. And it just means when you put it on the wall, it's taking it off the wall, just those few millimetres. And yeah, it just gives it a little bit more of a 3D plate effect. And then of course you can still stand it in your little stands. So you've got your little plate stand there. It's a bit small, this one, I think, and my desk does tilt backwards. So it probably will, yeah, it's just stand up just. Or you can use the bigger clear ones. You do get these sometimes as well. All available on Amazon. So yeah, you know, if you're wanting to turn an actual picture into like an ornament, you've now got that as a plate. Yay! Oh, these, as I say, this one will probably just have a command strip on the back and go straight onto the wall. Nobody's going to see this back bit really, so it, you know, it doesn't particularly make a difference if it's overly neat. This one, I wish it was a little bit neater, but you know, for what I want it for, just to raise it up, it's fine. And the front is gorgeous. I love that. So let's have a go at cutting this one out now and see how this compares. Okay, I do like having a play and having a go with different things. So again, I'm going to just cut underneath. This is a lot easier to cut, but sorry about the noise. It is cracking as I'm going through the fibres. Ooh, it's like having fireworks. I've got the washing machine spinning downstairs that I can hear, and then I've got this cracking. It's like I'm setting up my own band. Oh dear, right. Okay. Right, just go around here. Yeah, so it's the top coating. It's quite tough. Yeah, you see that is a neater edge. The white has gone actually as a neater edge. And you can see on there, look. So the white does actually cut better, but I do like the effect of the black. So, I don't know. I suppose if you're not seeing it, it doesn't really matter. But gosh, that's loud, that washing machine. I've just had to get a new washing machine. It's been one of those weeks. Yeah, my washing machine decided to stop working this week. It said, nope, had enough. To be honest, it doesn't owe us any favours. I do an awful lot of washing, and particularly like bedding and things like that. So, you know, it is on quite a lot. And yeah, we're trying to work it out. I would think we must have maybe had it 7 years, 8 years, which I think for a washing machine these days is a pretty good going, particularly for like the automatics in the UK. I mean, we had one washing machine we paid a lot of money for, and it only lasted 18 months. That's a long time ago though. I think that was a washer dryer. So yeah, I've just had the new one delivered today, so I've got about 10 mountains of washing to do. Bear in mind there is only 2 of us and Millie Moo, the Scotty dog, in our house, but I always seem to have a lot of washing. There's definitely other people live in this house that put things in the wash basket, I'm sure. So yeah, that's on at the minute, and it does sound a bit loud. So I don't think I'm going to be putting my washing machine on a night, because it'll probably annoy the neighbours. Because if it's that loud to me, it's probably going to be loud to them. Anyway, back to these plates. So yeah, that one has definitely cut out a lot better. That was easier to cut. But as I say, I do like the black core, so that you're not really seeing the underside. So yeah, that's our 2 plates done. And again, this one will stand on a stand. So you've got your Hello Spring there. Or again, if you've got a plate rack, you know, if you've got one of the old Victorian plate racks going around the edge of your room, then you could put it on one of those as well. Or a nice dresser, you know, if you've got a kitchen dresser, you could put it on there. See if this one stands on here. Okay, and see if we can get it to stand. As I say, my desk does actually slope backwards slightly, so I am on a little bit of a slope. Will it stand? Will it stand? Yes, just. So yeah, well, I hope you found that useful. As I say, I will at some point, when I get some more of the round ones, of the plate style ones, or plate style as I call them anyway, I will then try the Pinflair bookbinding glue on the shiny surface on the white one, and I'll try the silicone glue on the black one, and then I can compare them better. But yeah, I mean, they are well and truly stuck. I don't think I really needed to leave them overnight. I think a few hours and I could probably cut them out. But I do like to leave things, if I can and I'm not in a rush, so that they're fully set and they're okay. But yeah, they are now good to go. Okay, well, I hope you've got something useful out of this. And if you've enjoyed it, as always, a thumbs up is very much appreciated. Any comments or questions in the comments down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if you want to come back and join our little family and see what we get up to next, then if you press that subscribe button down in this corner and the all notifications bell that pops up, you'll be notified when any of my videos come out, so you're not going to miss anything. Yay! Okay, thanks ever so much for stopping by, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Bye for now.